Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for being here for today's important discussion to continuing to demonstrate your commitment to this issue. We have discussed at length the importance of responding into the specific needs of women and girls in humanitarian crises and the dire circumstances many women and girls find themselves across the region. We have stressed the importance of not only meeting these needs, but of also ensuring that we are grounding our support and intervention in strategies that build their resilience and empower them with the objective of creating just and equalities and societies in intuitions. And yet, how to do this effectively continues to be our common challenge. We know that refugee female-headed households not sharing resources with other households are those most vulnerable of food insecurity. We know that gender-based violence and violence against women continues to destroy the lives of the women and girls across the region. And prolonged displacement will deepen and exacerbate this. We know that women's rates of empowerment amongst the refugee community remains woefully low, demonstrating the rollback effect displacement has on women's access to opportunities and public space, deepening their sense of isolation. And as our intervention shift, rightly so, to those that build resilience through the provision of assets, skills, jobs, dignity, and protection, if we do not take special measures to target and include women in resilience and stabilization efforts, women are at risk of being further left behind. While women are central to community resilience and spend 90% of their income on the family, data demonstrate that women are more reliant on humanitarian assistance than men due to the barriers they face in accessing income-generating opportunities. If we are investing in community resilience, we must invest in women. This is the smart strategy, and it does not happen without vigilance and targeted strategies to ensure women are direct beneficiaries of this approach. This said, we worked hard, we have seen progress, and for this, we must be proud. National institutions, governmental and non-governmental, are taking the lead in providing shelter and relief for women and girls at risk and surviving gender-based violence. And donor governments and multilateral organizations are ensuring that gender equality and women's rights are prioritized in the support they provide. Collectively, these serve as a reminder to all of us that we are doing better and must continue to do so. In closing today's panel, I will summarize what I've heard and what is needed for us to move forward on this agenda together. However, before doing this, I must pause to remind all of us what no one in this room needs to be reminding of. That fundamentally, to promote gender equality and women's rights, we need peace. To meet the call of thousands and millions that are looking to us for action and that are frustrated by our inaction, we must continue to strive to make good on our commitments to global peace and security. Despite the multitude of hurdles that may seem impossible to overcome, and we must ensure that these efforts are grounded in inclusion and diversity. We need a humanitarian structure that places women's needs, rights, and empowerment at its heart. That means longer-term funding cycles to enable us to take an empowerment approach to those we serve, effectively engaging civil society in the response, not only as contracted service providers, but also as planners, leaders, and advocates for their constituencies. Ensuring adequate funding to the priorities of women and girls and ensuring that our intervention, such as those to support livelihoods, do not sideline women even inadvertently. We need an accountability framework that ensures that we all live up to the global commitments that we have made. We need structures that break down the silos that exist between our different strategies, thinking and funding structures, and brings together humanitarian, development, peace, and security planning and funding for holistic responses. National action plans on women, peace, and security serve as good practice for this, where humanitarian needs, development needs, and security priorities are brought together under one framework with the objective of stability and peace. we need to ensure that we are raising the tide of everyone, not only refugees, but also of those living in the communities generously hosting them. Many of these communities are also challenged by structural gender inequalities, and only until we also address this within the institution and organization that serve refugees can we make good on our commitments to address gender inequalities within the refugee populations. We must always measure our success not just in whether needs are met, but also whether through the meeting those needs we have also empowered those we are serving and work to ensure greater equality between men and women. And that's all from me. Thank you.